Hi, my beautiful people out there. Hope you're doing good and everything is fine and dandy on your side of the globe. Today, I would like to talk about a very interesting subject, and that is a neo-vintage Rolex Explorer II and what I experienced with that watch. First of all, I would like to start with I have some catalogs at home and old price lists from Rolex ADs. And I was comparing prices, and I've seen that the Rolex Explorer was priced close to the no date and the submariner date, which was around 3,000 euros. And a funny thing is, the Rolex Yachtmaster, the one that no one really likes and that is so unpopular, was double as that. And the super fun part was the Rolex Daytona was around the same ballpark price range as Rolex Yachtmaster. Now this really started making me thinking. No hype sheep mindset. This is the most important thing. How can a manufacturer price a Rolex Daytona on the same level almost as a Rolex Explorer? How? Because we got brainwashed, guys. Today, I am holding my Rolex Explorer in the camera and I'm honoring my watch. My Rolex Explorer II, 3186 movement, 2011. Super happy with it. The movement got revised. It has a nice parachrome hairspring, You will see it. I will show it into the video. All of that beautiful, nice, and interesting new inventions. And I really start realizing, forget the whole hype thing. Forget it. Do what you like. Do what suits you best. Everyone is now running to the polar dial version. Guys, I'm telling you, 15 years ago, I owned the white polar dial version. 20 years ago, sorry. And I was the only one liking it. No one liked it before. It was the one that, we don't want that watch. And today, it's the other way around. Everyone is jumping for the white dial, for the white polar dial. But since I had a lot and enough of my polar dial, decided that this time is going to be the black one. And boy, do I enjoy that watch. It's really crazy to think about how a brainwashed mindset can really overwhelm people that are clear in their mind and try to have things in focus. Again, never think that watches are an invest, okay? Don't try to find assets in watches and what. It's nice if they are becoming that, of course, but don't think about that way. Buy the watches you like. And today, and a few years, of course, before, I love the black one. And before that, a few years before, I adored the polar dial. But I'm not now jumping into, as I said, the hype sheep mindset. I do my own thing. Will it lose money? I don't care. Will it build up money over the years? Probably, but I don't know. What's the most important thing is live in the present. I do. And because of that, I wear this beautiful Rolex Explorer. Man, birds. I love it. He would also like to be on the camera. For me, it's more important to see the aspect of collecting, the joy of finding peace and content when you manage, to get that one piece that you always wanted, I mean, a Rolex Explorer II is for some of you out there a very average watch, right? But I'm telling you guys, if you are suffering, I have to turn around because my camera and look around. Okay, no one's there. All right. If you are suffering at the infamous Rolex watch fatigue, I am recommending you to go to the doctor, to the neo-vintage doctor, and buy yourself really such a watch that I have. Mine is from 2011. as I said. And what I experienced with that watch was incredible. First of all, it was a little bit too small for me. Look at that. It's a little bit too small for me, but I can really live with it. No problem. Why? Because I think it's a mixture of Cartier and Patek. And why do I say that? Because I believe with these neo-vintage and vintage models, you have to wear them a little bit smaller. You have to feel how it is to have a tiny watch compared to the newer references, of course, a slimmer watch, and a watch that is basically comfortable. You understand what I mean? I bought the watch. I remember the time I bought the watch and I was so freaking amazed and, you know, was happy and everything was so overwhelming. I fell asleep. And it was such a stunner for me because I usually, and I have now to go to the camera a little bit closer. It was so unusual for me because watches are not worn when you sleep. You know, that was always my mindset. And I fell asleep, freaking hell. And then I realized this thing was comfortable. I mean, the clasp was made out of probably tin can material, you know, stamped out of tin can material. But the thing is, a comfortable watch nowadays is worth $1 billion. That's so important that you guys understand that, and to get out of the Rolex watch fatigue. I know many of you have the issue to get their, you know, desired piece because they have to buy other pieces to be able, you know, to play the 80s game. But I believe to get out, you know, to have a little bit more fresh air, you guys have to dig your toe into the pool of vintage and neo-vintage watches. Man, this is basically all I can say. I hope you found it knowledgeable, what I had to say. I hope you guys did not suffer on the infamous Rolex new watch fatigue. If so, try that, what I recommend you. And yeah, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, I'm going to see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.